We're talking to Jacob Tell, one of the founders of the strategic creative marketing agency Oniricom, based out in beautiful Santa Barbara, California, but you guys do work everywhere. Tell us what you're working on right now and what's coming down the pike. That part's always really interesting to me. There's some legacy clients, but what are some of the exciting things that, as you talk about your positive disruption, what are you guys working on right now that's different and creative and might surprise people?
Sure, I'll go there. I will go there. I will surprise people right now. So not only have I mentioned the music industry background, 10 plus years, we were one of the premier go-to creative agencies for all the major record labels. We worked with Sony, Warner, Disney, EMI, Universal, you name it. That was the good old days of the industry. We then went to lifestyle brands and then eventually cannabis. So now I've mentioned cannabis a few times. But we've also started to dip our toe into the world of psychedelics and working to support brands and organizations that are disrupting big pharma. There's a lot of research going on at Johns Hopkins and other universities that are showing, finally some studies that are helping people that have PTSD, addiction issues, anxiety, depression, you name it. Anything really with looping thoughts and patterns. So because of this, and because we've been putting on these events, and because we've been trying to create more of a culture and a community and positively disrupt, we've actually decided to create a separate little entity that we've been incubating, and I've been doing a few little test events, and we've had about 200 plus people show up to each one, which for our space is pretty good. We're calling this District216. It's going to become a private members only social club, and it's going to have 4 pillars of content. It's going to be based around art, music, cannabis, and psychedelics. And the idea is that these events are going to be edutainment driven. So they'll have educational components, they'll have entertainment components, and it's about a place to connect, share ideas, discuss taboo topics, and have a community form around what I believe to be a very burgeoning and positively disruptive set of industries.
Now, do you have aspirations or experience in public policy advocacy as well? Are you doing some of that strategic work on your own and advising clients on working with policymakers affecting that kind of change, not just from the standpoint of public opinion, but for those who have the authority to make the decisions?
It's a great question. Tangentially, not directly. We definitely work with a few organizations on the environmental side and have for probably 20 years here in Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara is the birthplace of Earth Day. We've worked with the organization behind Earth Day Festival here, which had started 51 years ago here in Santa Barbara after the oil spill of 1969. And actually Nixon, who started the EPA out of that, and Earth Day that formed out of that. This is all the Community Environmental Council here. So through them, we've definitely worked with policy-driven initiatives and some policymakers. When it comes to, on the psychedelic side, when we're talking about new policies that need to come out, and there have been, by the way, state of Oregon has legalized psilocybin. Now we've got, mushrooms that can be used for, veterans that come back with PTSD and things like that. Those sorts of policies are made by groups of leaders in the industry that literally gather in places like what we're trying to create. So we want to facilitate and be a container for said policymakers to come in, have a place to, make collisions, meet, talk, and share ideas.